In the year 2139, space was no longer a mystery. Humans had traveled far beyond Mars, past Jupiter, and now touched the edges of deep space. But even after building cities on moons and trading with alien species, there were still places the stars told us not to go. One of those places was KELV-IX. It was a cold moon, orbiting a dead planet. No cities, no signs of life. Just silence, ice, and shadows. Commander Rian Keller was alone on that moon. He was part of a special exploration program, trained for isolation, pressure, and deep space survival. His mission was to investigate an unknown energy signal that Earth Command had picked up from beneath Kelvix's icy crust. At first, everything was normal. He landed. He set up the command tent. He opened communication channels with Earth and sent daily reports. But on the fifth day, something changed. That day, Rian sent a message that shocked every Earth station, every satellite, and every command center. You think we overreact? Then ask why I haven't blinked yet. He stared straight into the camera, eyes wide open, not moving, not blinking. Everyone thought it was a joke. At first, 12 hours later, Earth Command received a second message. This time, Rian looked worse. His eyes were red. Blood vessels had burst in both corners. His skin looked pale and tight. His voice was calm but low. I need you to listen. I don't have time to explain everything. Just understand this. They live in the dark. In the moment. You blink, they exist in that gap. That fraction of a second when your eyes are closed. He leaned closer. If I blink, they move. If I blink again, they get closer. Then he sat back, still not blinking. I made a mistake. I found something beneath the ice. It should have stayed buried. The screen went black. 2 days earlier, Rian had been exploring a cavern beneath the southern pole of Kelvix. It was an icy tunnel that dropped more than 2 kilometers below the surface. He climbed down slowly, using a heated drill and scanner to clear the way. His body cam recorded the journey. The ice glowed blue around him. His breath turned to crystals in the air. He found something strange at the bottom, not rock, not ice. A structure. It looked ancient. Smooth black walls, almost like glass, but warm to the touch. No doors, no markings. But it pulsed with energy. Rian tried to scan it, but the device glitched. He touched the wall. That was the first time he saw it. A shadow just behind him, tall, thin, no face. Standing still, he turned around fast. Nothing there. He thought it was just his mind. Isolation could do that. But then it happened again. This time, he saw it in the reflection of his helmet. Same figure. Closer. But every time he looked directly, it vanished. One day earlier, Rian stopped sleeping. He drank black stim fluid, injected alertness serum. His eyes started burning, but he refused to close them. He sent another log. They don't like light or direct vision. I tested it. As long as I'm watching, they stay still, but I blinked, just once. And it was right in front of me. I felt its breath. He began taping his eyelids open. Blood ran down his cheeks. Still, he didn't blink. I'm not crazy. Review the footage, frame by frame. You won't see them in video, only between frames, only in blinks. Earth Command finally took it seriously. They sent a small investigation crew to orbit Kelvix, but when they tried to land, the signal vanished. Rian was gone. His ship was still on the ground, but the hatch was open. The inside was scratched, long claw marks along the walls. No sign of Rian, only a single recording was left running. A camera feed. Rian, sitting in his chair, staring at the lens, eyes wide. You think we overreact? Then ask why I haven't blinked yet. Back at Earth Command, they brought in scientists, neurologists, alien experts. Everyone tried to explain it. Mass psychosis? Deep space hallucination? Viral infection? But the video feed remained active. Rian's last recording played on a loop, and then something strange happened. A young analyst minus 23-year-old Thomas Grady was reviewing the footage. He paused the video, stepped through frame dash by dash, frame. His face went pale. He called the room over. Frame 1023, nothing. Frame 1024, nothing. Frame 1025, a blur. Frame 1026, a shadow behind Rian, long fingers. No eyes, no mouth. Frame 1027, gone. Grady looked up. That's not a camera glitch. The room went silent. Another analyst ran a thermal analysis. Frame 1026 showed a heat signature. Not human. Something was there, if only for a fraction of a second. Back on Kelv-X, a team of 4 investigators landed to find answers. They explored the icy cave. Found the black structure. It was cold now. Dead. No sign of Rian. They tried to return to the surface, but one by one, they began to complain. I feel. Watched. Did anyone else see that figure in the corner? I swear I saw something move during my blink. One of them, Dr. Sosa, wore a head-mounted blink counter. It measured blink rate. It began beeping fast. Too fast. More blinks than possible. And then she screamed. She turned and fired her plasma cutter into the shadows. They're copying our blinks. They're learning. Final scene of Part 1. Earth Command decides to shut down Project Kelv-X. All data is sealed. All files labeled Red Eye Threat. But in a private room, a secret conversation takes place. Commander Rian. Keller wasn't chosen by chance. What do you mean? He was born with a rare condition. Congenital legophthalmos. He couldn't close his eyes fully. Are you saying ... this was planned? Not planned. Prepared. He was the only one who could look into the dark and see what looks back. The final scene cuts back to the frozen moon. Rian's face appears on a flickering monitor, deep beneath the ice. He is still watching, still not blinking, and behind him, just for a moment, a shape moves in the darkness. The moment the message from Commander Rian Keller reached Earth Command, panic began to spread through the control rooms and research labs. The words, "You think we overreact? Then ask why I haven't blinked yet," haunted the minds of every officer who heard them. Everyone wanted to understand what had happened on Kelv-X, but few dared to hope for answers. 2 days after Rian's last broadcast, Earth Command assembled a special task force named Protocol Alpha Zero, a rapid response team meant to investigate threats beyond normal human experience. The team consisted of scientists, military officers, and xenolinguists, trained to handle contact with unknown alien phenomena. Lieutenant Kara Soren was appointed the leader of this mission. She was young but experienced, with several successful deep space missions under her belt. Kara studied the video feeds of Rian's last hours, looking carefully at every detail. The thing that disturbed her most was the look in Rian's eyes, wide open, unblinking, desperate. The team gathered in the briefing room. Screens lit up with images from Kelv-X, the icy surface, the deep cavern, and the strange black structure. Rian found something beneath the ice, Kara said. We don't know what it is yet, but it triggered his ... condition. He stopped blinking. We have to understand why. The scientists exchanged uneasy glances. The problem was bigger than anyone had imagined. The word Watchers kept coming up in Rian's logs, but no one knew what it meant. The team's ship, the Horizon, was prepped for the descent to Kelv-X. Kara looked out the window as the stars blurred past. She knew that whatever awaited them on that cold moon might change humanity's understanding of life forever. Arrival at Kelv-X was as desolate as expected. Ice stretched out like a white desert under a pale sun. The air was thin and bitterly cold. The Horizon landed on a flat plain near the cave Rian had explored. Kara and the team disembarked, wearing thermal suits. Their boots crunched on the frost. as they moved toward the entrance of the cavern. The air grew colder, and strange silence surrounded them. "Stay alert," Kara ordered. "Remember, Rian's last message warned us about something living in the dark, something that moves when we blink." The team switched on their helmet lights and began their descent. The icy tunnel dropped steeply into the moon's depths. Walls glistened like crystal, and their breath formed fog in the cold air. As they reached the bottom, they saw the strange black structure Rian had described. It was smooth and dark, with no visible seams or markings. It pulsed faintly, almost like it was alive. Dr. Sosa, the team's xenobiologist, stepped forward to scan the surface. "This isn't rock or metal," she said. "It's something else. Something artificial. Or maybe organic." Suddenly, the scanners flickered. The temperature dropped even more. The team felt a chill crawl down their spines. "Something's here," Sosa whispered. First contact. The team set up a temporary base near the structure. They began analyzing the energy readings, trying to unlock the secrets beneath the ice. Kara reviewed the footage from Rian's helmet cam. She noticed strange shadows moving at the edge of the frame, just out of focus. It was as if the darkness itself was alive. "We need to keep our eyes open," she warned. "No blinking." The team laughed nervously, but they understood. Blinking was an automatic reflex, almost impossible to control. They decided to use special helmets with blink detectors that would warn them when their eyes closed. Days passed. The team gathered more data, but the Watchers did not reveal themselves. Or so they thought. One evening, as the team rested, Dr. Sosa checked her helmet's blink counter. It was beeping rapidly. She looked around and noticed the other members blinking more than usual. "That's strange," she muttered. "I'm sure I'm not blinking that much." Suddenly, shadows shifted in the corner of her eye. A tall, thin shape stood just beyond the light. She turned quickly, but it was gone. "Did you see that?" she asked the others. They shook their heads. Sosa felt a sudden chill. "They're here," she whispered. "Watching us." The blinking experiment. To test their theory, the team set up an experiment. They recorded themselves blinking, frame by frame, using high-speed cameras. Footage showed strange shapes appearing only between frames, fleeting glimpses of figures without faces or features. They seemed to live in the gaps created by blinking. Kara watched in horror. "If we blink, they get closer," she said. "They live in the moments we're blind." The team worked long hours to resist blinking. They used stimulants and special eye drops to keep their eyes open longer. It was exhausting. Dr. Sosa tried taping her eyelids open, but soon began to bleed. The situation grew desperate. The signal disappeared suddenly. The communication line to Earth cut off. The team tried to reconnect but failed. The energy readings from the structure spiked, then dropped to 0. The Watchers seemed to be hiding or retreating, or perhaps attacking. The team debated their next move. "We can't stay here," Kara said. "We need to leave before it's too late." They packed up and returned to the horizon. Returned to the ship. As they approached the ship, something felt wrong. The air was thicker. The shadows deeper. Dr. Sosa screamed. She pointed to the hatch, where long claw marks scratched the metal. Kara signaled the team to move cautiously. Inside the ship, the lights flickered. Strange noises echoed through the corridors. One crew member blinked and vanished. Panic broke out. Kara fought to stay calm. "We have to keep our eyes open," she ordered. "No blinking." The truth revealed back at Earth Command. The footage from the team's ship showed horrifying images. People blinking and disappearing. The Watchers had learned how to move beyond the blink. Earth went on alert. Kara and the team sent a final message before losing contact. "We were wrong. They are not just shadows. They are here. They are watching. And blinking will be the last mistake we make." The silence on Kelvix was heavy, like a weight pressing down on the bones of the moon itself. The cold seemed to seep into every crack and corner. and the icy walls of the cavern shimmered faintly in the flickering light of the expedition's lamps. But beneath the quiet, something darker moved, something unseen but felt deeply by those who dared to look. Lieutenant Kara Soren and her team had returned to the moon's surface after their first terrifying mission inside the cavern. And the mysterious black structure. Earth Command had lost all contact with the team since the last message. We were wrong. They are not just shadows. They are here. They are watching. And blinking will be the last mistake we make. The words echoed in Kara's mind as she prepared for a second mission, one to uncover what they truly were. The Watchers. The arrival of the new team was larger, better equipped. The best scientists, engineers, and security officers joined Kara on the ship. Horizon 2. There was an air of nervous excitement and fear as they approached the frozen moon. Keep your eyes open, Kara reminded them again during the briefing. Whatever these Watchers are, they live in the blink. We must stay alert. The landing was rough, the surface covered in frost and thick ice that cracked under their feet. They brought with them improved blink detection helmets, stimulants, and devices designed to capture high-speed footage between blinks. We'll catch them, said Dr. Sosa, still haunted by the previous mission. We'll see what's real. But even she could not shake the creeping feeling that the darkness was alive. The blinkless experiment, once inside the cavern. The team set up their base near the black structure. Kara assigned shifts, ensuring someone was always watching and ready to alert if blinking occurred. Cameras were placed to record every moment in slow motion. The scientists wanted to find evidence of these beings that only appeared in the gaps of vision. On the second day, they began analyzing the footage frame by frame. Slowly, terrifying images emerged out between each blink. Fleeting figures flickered. Tall, thin, shadowy forms with no faces, moving in the gaps between frames. They were not just shadows but entities existing in the moments humans could not see. This changes everything, whispered Sosa. They live in the spaces between our perception. Kara's heart pounded. The Watchers were real, and they were bound to something beyond normal time. The nature of the Watchers. The team realized the Watchers could only exist in the tiny fraction of time when the human eye closes, a fraction of a second during every blink. When a person blinks, their vision shuts down briefly. The Watchers lived in that dark moment, invisible to the naked eye. But if someone kept their eyes open, the Watchers remained still, powerless. However, there was a catch. During a blink, the Watchers could move, touch, and even influence the physical world. Every blink was a risk. The team's blink counters beeped constantly, warning them to resist the natural urge. Dr. Sosa began developing a new stimulant to help keep eyes open longer. Physical and mental toll days passed. The team's health deteriorated rapidly. Blood vessels burst in their eyes, skin became pale and tight from exhaustion, and hallucinations haunted their waking moments. Some reported hearing whispers. Others claimed to see shapes just out of sight. I saw one, muttered technician Harris, just for a second, thin, tall, without a face. It was right behind me. Kara felt the pressure too. She stopped blinking as much as possible, but the strain was enormous that her vision blurred. Her heart raced. But she could not give in. We cannot blink, she said firmly. If we blink, they come. The first contact on the fifth day, during a routine check of the black structure, Kara noticed movement in her peripheral vision. A tall figure was there, more solid this time. She forced her eyes open wider, refusing to blink. The figure froze. Then it disappeared. The team's cameras caught the figure only between frames. Each time they blinked, the Watchers took a step closer. Kara tried to reach out, but the figure vanished again. They were trapped in a terrifying game of perception. Communication attempts. The scientists tried sending signals like pulses, sound waves, even electromagnetic bursts to the Watchers, hoping to provoke a response. Nothing. Then, one night, the team heard a whisper on the radio. A voice, broken and faint. Blink, not safe, No one knew where it came from. A team member lost during a late shift. Engineer Miko blinked, she vanished. Her body was never found. Panic set in. Keep your eyes open, Kara shouted. Don't blink, not even once. The team realized the Watchers could take physical form if given the chance. The revelation back at Earth Command. Neurologists analyzed data from the expedition. They discovered the Watchers were not just predators. They were predators that thrived on human perception itself. The Watchers existed outside of linear time, slipping into reality only during the brief moments of blindness our blinking caused. If humans could learn to stop blinking, they might survive. But nature made that almost impossible. The cold of Kelvix pressed in on the expedition like an invisible shroud. Time seemed to slow as Lieutenant Kara Soren's team faced what felt like an enemy not only unknown but unknowable. The Watchers, creatures that lived in the blink of an eye, were more than just shadows. They were a force outside human understanding, a force growing stronger since Miko's disappearance. Fear had gripped the team like ice. No one dared blink, but the body's need for rest, for blinking, was a primal thing. And nature did not care about fear. Breaking point, the days stretched on. The blinking experiment pushed the team to their limits. We can't keep this up, whispered Harris one night, his eyes bloodshot and red. My eyes hurt. I can't see straight. Kara nodded, feeling the same pain in her own eyes. The team had been awake for nearly 72 hours straight, blinking only when absolutely forced. Dr. Sosa worked on a new stimulant serum, designed to reduce the pain and keep the eyes open longer. We have no choice, Kara told the team. If we blink, we die. It's that simple. But with every hour, the risk grew higher. The Watchers became bolder, more visible. A terrifying encounter one night, as Kara patrolled the perimeter of their base. She saw movement. A tall figure, thin and faceless, flickered in and out of view. Her helmet's blink counter beeped. She was close to blinking. Her eyes dry and aching. She forced herself to keep staring. The figure stopped moving. Then, in a moment between blinks, it reached toward her. Kara jumped back, nearly falling on the ice. Her heart raced. She realized the Watchers were learning to control the blink moments. They were becoming more dangerous. The team's breakdown, sleep deprivation, and fear took their toll. Crew members began to argue. Some wanted to return immediately to Earth, but the comm system was still down. We're trapped, said Lieutenant Voss, a security officer. Trapped and hunted. Dr. Sosa tried to calm everyone. We have to stay together, she said. Our only hope is to keep our eyes open and find a way to stop them. A hidden message in the black structure. Kara discovered something new. A faint glow pulsed from the walls. It was a pattern like a code. She copied it to her datapad and sent it to Earth Command using a secure frequency. After hours, a reply came through. The code was not random. It was a message. A warning. The message revealed that the Watchers were once a race of beings trapped between dimensions, accidentally released when humans drilled beneath Kelvix. They had no physical form, but could enter the human world during blinks, moments when the eye shuts and reality weakens. The message advised, do not blink, do not sleep, stay in the light. Only then can you survive. Desperate measures, the team tried using bright lights and UV lamps to keep the Watchers at bay. But the energy drained from the equipment rapidly. Kara knew they couldn't hold out forever. The ship's oxygen supply was limited. The cold crept in through every crack. A plan. Kara gathered the team. We can't fight them forever, she said, but maybe we can trick them. Dr. Sosa suggested a device that emitted a constant light pulse faster than the blink rate, a strobe that would keep the Watchers frozen. The engineers worked around the clock. The final battle, when the device was ready, Kara and the team switched it on. The cavern lit up with harsh, Blinking light, faster than human eyes could follow. The watchers shrieked and twisted in pain. Unable to move, the team took the chance to escape deeper into the cave. The twist, but the watchers were not defeated. They adapted. The light flickered. A figure appeared, larger, darker, and more real than any before. It moved toward Kara. She blinked, and everything went black. When Lieutenant Kara Soren blinked, the world dissolved into darkness. Her mind spun as if falling through an endless void. But the darkness wasn't empty. Something was there, waiting. She felt a cold pressure, a presence closing in. The Watcher. Kara's eyes snapped open. She was back in the cavern, but everything had changed. The sharp, flashing lights of their strobe device flickered weakly around her. The others were nowhere in sight. Panic surged through her veins. "Where is everyone?" she whispered. Lost in darkness, Kara stumbled forward, the icy floor slippery beneath her feet. The cavern seemed larger, deeper, but strangely silent. No sounds of her team, no hum of machines. Her helmet sensors showed low oxygen levels. She had to find the others fast. Then a faint sound, a whisper, like breath against the cold stone. Double quotes, blink. Safe. No. Kara froze. The voice was distorted, almost like the last message from Dr. Sosa. She moved toward the sound, heart pounding. The other side. Suddenly, Kara found herself in a narrow tunnel she hadn't seen before. It twisted and curved downward. She followed it, the light dimming with every step. At the end, a glowing doorway pulsed, black with streaks of blue light. Without thinking, she stepped through. A new reality. Kara was no longer in the cavern. She stood in a place that was both dark and bright, like twilight frozen in time. The air was thick and heavy, but breathable. Shapes flickered at the edge of her vision. The watchers. But here, they were clearer, more real. One approached. Tall and slender, its faceless head tilted as if curious. Kara raised her hand, trembling. "Who? What are you?" she asked. The figure made no sound, but reached out gently. The watchers' truth in that moment. Kara understood. The watchers were not evil. They were trapped beings, lost between worlds, forced to live in the blink because their true form could not exist in normal time. They tried to communicate but could only do so in the dark spaces humans created when blinking. Kara felt sympathy for them. "We didn't mean to trap you," she said softly. The watcher moved closer and touched her helmet. A rush of images flooded her mind, memories of their world. A place destroyed by a cosmic event, leaving them stranded between dimensions. A warning and a choice. The watcher showed Kara visions of Earth, of her team, struggling to survive. They warned, if humans continued to fight them, more destruction would come. But they also offered a choice, a way to help them return to their dimension safely. Kara listened carefully. The key was the black structure beneath Kelvix. It was a gateway, a prison, and could be used to send the watchers home, returning to reality. Suddenly, Kara was pulled back. The strange twilight faded. She found herself back in the cavern, the strobe device flickering weakly. Her helmet's sensors beeped urgently. She was alone, but she now had a mission. Finding the team. Kara hurried to find her team. She found Dr. Sosa and Harris near the black structure, weak but alive. "We need to use the gateway," Kara explained. "The watchers want to go home." The team worked together to reactivate the ancient gateway. As they did, the watchers appeared around them, no longer threatening but calm. The gateway, the black structure pulsed with energy. Kara felt the ground tremble. The gateway opened. A swirling vortex of light and darkness. The watchers began to step into it, one by one, fading as they passed through. It was a bittersweet moment. Sacrifice. Suddenly, the gateway began to destabilize. Kara realized someone had to stay behind to keep it open. Without hesitation, she volunteered. Her team protested, but she was firm. "This is the only way." The final moment, Kara held a control panel, watching the watchers disappear. The last one turned to her, a silent thank you. Gateway started to close. Kara's vision blurred. She felt herself slipping between worlds. The Kelvix survivors floated silently inside the Earth return shuttle. Aegis 5. Dr. Lena Sosa sat beside the observation window, staring at the blue planet growing larger beneath them. She hadn't spoken much since Kara disappeared. Her hands still shook when she blinked. She didn't sleep anymore. Every time her eyes closed, she saw her, Kara, but not the same Kara. Her eyes didn't blink. Her body glowed faintly, surrounded by flickering shadows, and she always said the same words. I see you. Arrival at Earth Command DR. Sosa and Sergeant Harris were debriefed for 11 hours straight. Was the portal closed? Yes. Was the anomaly neutralized? Yes. Any life forms brought back? No, none. But Sosa couldn't explain the dreams, or the feeling that someone else was inside her head, watching with her. They called it post-trauma blink syndrome, a fancy name for what Earth Command believed to be stress and guilt. But it was something else, something deeper. The first glitch 2 nights later. Sosa sat alone in her lab reviewing slow-motion blink footage from the Kelvix mission. She had watched it 100 times before, but this time, on frame 934, something changed. She saw a face, Kara's face, for just one frame. One fraction of a second, when no camera should have recorded anything. Her heart raced. She rewound it again, zoomed in. Kara, eyes wide, glowing, and behind her, shapes moving in the dark. They never left. Sosa whispered. Meanwhile, Sergeant Harris' apartment. Harris hadn't left his room in 3 days. He kept the lights on 24/7, drank eye stimulant drops every 6 hours, and taped his eyelids open at night. But it didn't work. He was still seeing things. Not outside, but inside. He would blink, and suddenly, he'd be somewhere else. A frozen place with stars that didn't move. And Kara was always there, watching him with a strange sadness. One night, her voice echoed through the room, even though no speaker was on. You're already sharing the vision. He screamed. Earth Command's secret meeting, Sosa demanded. A meeting with the director of Deep Space Threat Response. The Watchers didn't all go through the portal, she said. Some stayed behind, or worse. Some of us brought them back. In our minds. What are you suggesting? A shared psychic space. They live between moments, remember? What if they can link those moments and use our brains to see evidence? Sosa played the frame 934 footage. The director leaned forward, pale. Contact Kara's family. Start psychological screenings. And Sosa. Yes, don't blink too long. The return of Kara that night. Sosa finally gave in to exhaustion. She slept for 18 minutes. And in that dream sleep, Kara came clearly. Not just a flicker, but real, present, speaking calmly. I'm still me, Sosa, but I'm different now. Her voice echoed like wind in a tunnel. They didn't kill me, they absorbed me. Now I exist between thoughts, between time. I see the world through all of you, and I need your help. Sosa asked, help for what? They want to understand. But if we don't teach them, someone else will. The shared vision expands across the globe. Strange reports began. Children waking up speaking words in unknown languages. Soldiers freezing mid-battle, staring into space. Pilots reporting echoes in their thoughts. Doctors called it a mass neurological disorder. The media called it the flicker plague. But those who had been exposed to the Kelvix anomaly knew better. The Watchers were creating shared vision, linking minds through the blink moments. Not all humans could handle it. Some broke, some vanished, and a few began to see what Kara saw. Sergeant Harris collapsed during a press conference, eyes wide open, muttering the same sentence again and again. The blink is growing longer. They're stepping through. They're stepping through. He was sedated and placed in a sealed observation chamber. But when doctors checked the footage of his collapse, they found something chilling. Frame 810, empty podium. Frame 811, Harris standing. Frame 812, a tall shadow standing behind him. Frame 813, Harris starts screaming. The doctors deleted the footage and locked the report. But Sosa had already seen it. The reality Kara showed in her next dream. Kara showed Sosa the real plan. The Watchers didn't want war. They wanted connection. They were trying to build a bridge between worlds, a network of thoughts across galaxies. But to do it, they needed hosts, humans who could handle the shared vision without breaking. Kara was the first. Sosa would be the second. "I'll help you," Sosa said, trembling. "But you have to protect the others, the ones who can't handle it." Kara nodded. "They'll be safe, as long as they don't fight it." The secret protocol. Sosa returned to Earth Command with a classified file. SVP Shared Vision Protocol. Inside were brain scans of infected individuals, footage of Watcher flickers between blinks, a proposed training program to teach future humans how to accept shared thoughts, a warning. If we block them, they will adapt. If we welcome them, we may evolve. The board was divided. Some called for total mind shields and digital eye guards. Others whispered of a new era, human minds upgraded by Watcher links. But the decision was no longer in human hands. It had already begun. A new kind of seeing over the next weeks. Global blink patterns changed. People began dreaming in unison. Artists painted the same symbols without knowing why. Children in different countries spoke the same 5 unknown words during sleep. "I see what you see." Kara's final message. One last time, Sosa saw Kara, not in a dream, but on a monitor in her lab. Kara looked directly into the camera. "This is not the end. It's the beginning of shared thought, of shared life. The more you resist, the harder it will be." She blinked slowly, the first time in weeks. "I blinked so they could see. Now I see so you don't have to." Then the feed went black. 3 months later, Earth, the world, had changed. It started with the small things. People blinking in unison. Strangers finishing each other's thoughts. Random dreams shared across continents. Then came the bigger signs. Pilots landing planes. Before instructions, children drawing the same symbol in every country. And thousands reporting the same word echoing in their mind. Merge. Dr. Lena Sosa watched all of this from her private lab beneath Earth Command. She hadn't slept in days. She wasn't sure if she even needed sleep anymore. The dreams came whether her eyes were open or closed. And always in those dreams, Kara was waiting. Kara's warning. "You don't have much time," Kara told her. Her voice was clearer now. She no longer flickered. She stood calmly inside the gap, her form now completely alien, tall, glowing slightly, her skin like a thin sheet of glass with lights inside. "Something's happening on the other side," Kara said. "Not all Watchers agree with what we've done." Sosa swallowed hard. "You mean ... they don't want peace?" "Some do. But others see what we're doing as an infection. To them, shared vision is a virus. They want to cleanse the host." Earth begins to divide across the planet. Society began to split into 2 types of people. Seers, those who accepted the shared vision. They communicated with ease, slept less, and understood each other without speaking. Resistors, those who fought it. They wore eye masks, blink control tech, and lived in special dark zones free of any shared signals. Governments collapsed. New ones rose. Cities were renamed. Some welcomed the change. Others feared the end of individuality. And in the shadows of this new Earth, something was waking up. The return signal. Sergeant Harris, now part of Earth's Watcher Integration Unit, noticed strange activity in the shared field. Sudden spikes of emotion, fear, and confusion coming from space. "It's not from Earth," he told Sosa. They ran scans. A signal was bouncing between Earth and something far beyond Kelvix. A new portal was opening, but not like before, not from Earth's side. They're coming back, Sosa whispered. But not Kara's watchers. Someone else. Kara's final visit, Sosa entered deep sleep under neural control, letting her body shut down completely to reach Kara one last time. Kara looked different again. Her voice trembled. I can't hold them off anymore, Sosa asked. Who are they? The original ones, the first watchers. The ones who got trapped before time. They see what we did, and they see it as contamination. They want to burn it all. What do we do? Kara raised her hand. There's only one way. You must. Blink, all of you, together. One final synchronized blink. Sosa frowned. That doesn't make sense. It's not about the blink. It's about the gap. If all minds enter the same gap at once, the first watchers won't find you. You'll be hidden in the moment between. Sosa's voice cracked. You want us to vanish into a blink? No, I want you to survive. Preparing the blink seemed insane. But everything about the last year had been insane. So Earth Command launched Project BLINK, Biological Link for Interdimensional Neural Kinship. Every seer was given a countdown timer. Every resistor was warned. When the timer reached 0, every human connected to the shared field would blink at the exact same second. Entering the gap. It was a last chance, a hiding place, a prayer. The night before, on the eve of the final blink, Earth was silent. Sosa stood at the window of her tower, watching the stars. They were moving. She wasn't imagining it. Whole constellations shifted, warped, then returned. They're close, Harris said behind her. Do you think this will work? Sosa asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he said, I dreamed of Kara last night. She said ... after the blink, we won't be the same. Sosa nodded. Maybe that's the point. The final countdown, the timer, reached 0 hours 0 minutes and 5 seconds. Billions stared at their screens. Some cried, some prayed, some smiled. Others refused. 0 hours 0 minutes and 3 seconds. Kara's voice echoed across every speaker on the planet. Close your eyes, trust me. 0 hours 0 minutes and 2 seconds. The stars pulsed. The air rippled. The light changed. 00:00:00 01 billions blinked. The world between. For a moment, Earth stopped. No sound, no movement. And yet, awareness. They were inside the gap. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was beautiful. Golden skies, floating memories, thoughts as birds, emotions dancing like wind. Every mind linked. No barriers. No lies. Just truth. Kara stood in the center. Welcome to the shared world. You made it. Sosa stepped forward. Did we win? Kara smiled. You didn't win. You became. The first watchers arrive in the normal world, the one just outside the blink. The first watchers arrived. Dark, massive, like walking holes in space. They searched. They scanned. But Earth was gone, or so it seemed. It had hidden itself in time. In thought, in the blink. And the first watchers, unable to see the shared signal, turned away. Return. Or stay inside the gap, Kara explained. You can return. You'll wake up in your bed, forget most of this. Life will feel normal again. Stay here, become part of the next step. Minds without limits, bodies of light. Thought without language. Some chose to return, most did not. Sosa's decision. Sosa walked across the golden field, alone for a moment. She thought of her life. Her lab, her childhood. She thought of Kara, of Harris, of the watchers. She closed her eyes. And made her choice. Earth. After the blink 1 week later, the planet woke up. Those who blinked and returned remembered fragments, beautiful dreams, golden skies, and a feeling of peace. The others were gone. No trace. No death. No Suffering. Just missing. Governments called it the Great Silence. History books called it the last blink. The final transmission 1 year later, a radio telescope in Iceland picked up a simple signal from deep space. It repeated only once. In Kara's voice, "We're still watching. And now, so are you."